Hey everybody, this is Minion Soldier, and this is more of a personal interest video. This is, of course, being an avid gamer, there are many games that I play, waiting for Star Citizen to kind of really start to hit its stride and start to get really sophisticated and in depth. But right now, it's more just kind of playing around with different tools as they come online. Obviously we got a ways to go that way. And one of the games that I play, of course, is this game here, World of Warcraft. Now, briefly, I'd shown my warrior once before, but this is a character that I don't really play that much anymore. It's more or less kind of geared a little bit, and then I kind of left it to go play other things. But the reason why I'm putting this up on screen and the reason why I'm playing this character is these things right here. These are called the Warglaives of Azeroth. Now, some of you might know what they are, some of you might not, but basically during the Burning Crusade patch, these twin blades were available at the end of the Black Temple raid from Illidan Stormrage, who you see over there on the right. Basically, he was the end boss of the Black Temple raid, and if you were lucky enough to loot them, you had to loot both. You couldn't just loot one, so it wasn't like you looted one item and you got both of them. And there's an offhand and a main hand to them. So the odds of actually getting them are pretty darn low. There are people who have been farming for them for years and not got them post-release. Now, of course, these weapons are from a much older patch, so they're not current now. But what you can do is if you have the Warglaives of Azeroth on one of your characters, these are actually the rules. I'll say this up front. These are the rules that, as they've been explained to us thus far of this event coming up, is that if you have those on a character on your account, both of them, you have the achievement for getting both weapons, and you complete the Black Temple raid during a time walking event coming up, I believe, somewhere in June, maybe beginning of July. So if you're looking for it, definitely keep your eye out for that. But if you have them, you can unlock the transmog appearance for your Demon Hunter. So if you play a Demon Hunter character, which I do have one, you can unlock those weapons as a transmog for your character. But once again, you have to have the Warglaives of Azeroth, both of them, main and offhand. And the drop rate is pretty low. I believe individually, they have, I think it's a 5% chance to drop, and even then, you can get the offhand several times and not get the main hand, or vice versa, or you can just not get them at all, right? It's all random chance. And I myself, on this character, have made a few runs, and on my Demon Hunter, I've made quite a few runs as well, trying to get these, because there were rumors that at some point that they were going to release a transmog. There had been whispers about that for quite some time. And so I had kind of had a little bit of a side mission where I was trying to go out and get them again. And really, like, it was becoming very frustrating for me, because I had basically looted the offhand I think 4 times at this point, but I had never gotten the main hand to drop, and I was pretty much, resolved because of my luck, as I'm going to explain with a little bit of story time in a moment. I have pretty horrible luck when it comes to legendaries. So I kind of was like, I'm gonna keep my nose to the grindstone. I'm gonna keep hitting this up. I'm gonna keep trying to get this done. But on a certain level, I kind of accepted the fact that it probably wasn't going to happen, because, being mid-May, going in towards the end of May, and this thing probably happening in June, and you can only run this raid and loot this boss once per week. So if that gives you an idea of what the odds are pretty slim. But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna make an effort and try to do what the odds say I can. Now, one of the things is, of course, like I have never managed to get a legendary, like a current legendary in World of Warcraft ever. Now, there was an opportunity during Ice Crown Citadel to get a legendary. Unfortunately, real life conspired against me, and let's just say that was a very difficult year in my life. And so I missed pretty much Ice Crown Citadel from 1 week after launch until basically a month till the release of Cataclysm. So I was out of commission for that. Then in the next patch, Cataclysm, at the very end of it, there was another legendary that I could have got, which was the daggers for my rogue. And so after kind of finagling and pulling every contact and every string that I could to try and find a guild that would allow me to to bring my rogue in and get those legendaries, because you had to run that raid many times over to basically loot all the items that you were going to need to bring those daggers up to legendary level. I had finally found a guild that was going to let me to do it, but there was a deal. The deal is that I would have to use this character here to tank for them, so that one of the other people could, instead of tanking, go on their rogue and get their daggers. And of course, the guild leader was trying for the daggers as well. So I would have to tank that raid so many times that 2 rogues would be able to get the daggers, and then I would be third in line. That was the deal. Now, part of that as well is that before you started this, when you basically kind of began the quest, you had to spend 10,000 gold to get the initial version of the daggers, which was like basic epic daggers. They were pretty good. And then as you kind of ran through the raid and achieved multiple objectives during the raid, you would level them up again and again and again until they got to legendary. So this was a process. This was a long process, and I had to help 2 rogues go through the entire process before I could get there. But I was very happy about it. I was saying, you know what, this is going to happen. This is really going to happen, and I'm finally going to get a current legendary. And I was very excited about that. So the first rogue, of course, gets their daggers. The whole guild, throws a party, checks it out. The daggers are really cool. They have a really cool effect where, if you right click on them, you can slow fall, and you have these dragon wings that come out from behind your character, and so you can use them every 5 minutes to basically give yourself a slow fall buff, so you won't die when you fall from a great height, as long as you use them intelligently or semi-intelligently. So the first rogue, of course, gets her daggers. Then the next rogue gets his daggers, and now it's my turn, right? Now it's my turn, so now they are on tank. I am on my rogue, and I am so excited. Halfway through the questing to get the daggers, all of a sudden the guild decides they don't want to raid anymore. They've had enough. They're tired of Dragon Soul. They don't want to do it anymore. And guild leader's like, oh well, I'm really sorry, but nobody wants to really raid anymore. It's just like wow. I just helped 2 rogues get their daggers, and I said, you're just gonna dip out on me? You're just gonna leave me hanging like that? And they're like, well, you can't exactly force people to raid, but you'd think that anyways. It was a major disappointment, to the point that though I did eventually get even for that little transgression, I eventually gave up on the game. And that would have been into Mist of Pandaria. I kind of just gave up and just said I've had it, because it was just that kind of just soured me on the game. And so I started going out and looking for different things to do and different games to play, And as much as I loved the game, I loved the Warcraft universe, loved the lore, I had to step away for a while. Now, one of the games that I found immediately afterwards was World of Tanks. And I had a lot of fun playing that. You got some unique tournament tanks. Got the Object 907 and the 7201K, I believe. I had a lot of fun with World of Tanks, but one of the problems is that there was really nothing to it. I mean, it was just, realistically, World of Tanks is basically just a series of arena matches over and over and over again. And I always kind of, I want a little bit more of a story, It's like potatoes with no steak, It's just, the potatoes can be great, but eventually it's like, okay, where's the steak? And it's not there, right? So eventually I did come back and started playing WoW, but on a much more casual level. I had raided in Wrath of the Lich King and, of course, Cataclysm, and had a lot of fun, a lot of success, especially early on in Cataclysm. A lot of spectacular success there. But I wanted to just kind of chill out and, just kind of enjoy the story and just kind of see where the game took me. And so I kind of came back in the middle of Warlords of Draenor. Actually, I bought Warlords of Draenor right before launch. And I played for one day, and then I forget what happened. Something happened, and I ended up having to... I can't remember. I think it was right before Christmas. And I ended up out on the West Coast for a couple of weeks, and by the time I came back, I ended up having to do something else, and so I never actually got to play Warlords of Draenor until it had already been out for about a year and a half. Yeah, it was a while. But then, I saw the previews for Legion, of course, and the Demon Hunters, and I was like, oh man, Demon Hunters, that'd be cool, that'd be great, that'd be fun to play, And so I thought, you know what? Yeah, I'll take a shot at that when it comes out. I'll give Legion a chance and see how much I enjoy it, because there seemed to be a lot of content built around allowing you to just kind of achieve decent things while still playing solo and not getting too tied into things like guilds and raiding and all that crap. And so yeah. So I went back and I started playing it casually. So, yeah, the whole time that I've been making these videos and talking about Star Citizen and whatnot, I've still been playing WoW in the background, but on a much more casual level, just having fun, kind of creating little projects and seeing them through with certain characters. But yeah, when I saw the Demon Hunters, I thought, yeah, the Demon Hunters are alright, but, the Warglaives that you get are kind of, they're not the Warglaives. But then again, if they gave everybody the Warglaives, the Warglaives of Azeroth, then everyone would be running around with the exact same thing, and it would kind of look dumb, right? Now, of course, some people probably wouldn't use them, but a lot of people would. But when I found out that, that they were going to bring back a transmog, or at least the rumors started that they were going to bring back a transmog, it kind of made sense to me that they didn't want everybody to have the transmog. I thought, because this is something that they have said before, that one of the big things that held back artifact weapons in Legion, one of the things that they were worried about is everyone's going to be walking around with the same weapons. It's the same reason why they wouldn't let you transmog legendaries, because everyone would be walking around with the same weapons. But of course, when Legion came out, everybody had these artifact weapons. Every Ret Pally has Ashbringer. Every whatever class has their their weapons. Some of them brand new weapons that we've never seen before. Sometimes it's like Doomhammer is in there, Ashbringer is there, but still people transmog over them because they want to create unique characters and whatnot. But the Warglaives, I think, would be the exception to that rule because they are just so iconic. And iconic to in an era here, Burning Crusade, obviously, where I think, even though WoW wasn't at its peak during this expansion, I think this was the expansion that really kind of built WoW and kind of built the legend. So that by the time Wrath of the Lich King came around, just about everybody and their brother was playing this game. And, of course, Wrath of the Lich King was WoW's absolute peak in terms of subscription. And, I mean, honestly, that in and of itself, I mean, like, the subscription numbers are one thing, but I can tell you, honestly, once I had gotten to Northrend, that was just an absolutely iconic experience. I mean, just an incredible experience. Such great storytelling. A lot of the systems that had been altered from vanilla and kind of tested out in Burning Crusade really kind of came into their own in Wrath of the Lich King. And, just the story, the world, everything. Like, I could make a whole video just talking about Wrath of the Lich King and how good it was. But, that's not the subject of this video. But one of the things that, when I was coming back to Legion and kind of coming back to all these weapons, one of the things that I was thinking of was that, they're going to gate this. They're not going to let everybody have it. They're going to hide it somehow, and they're going to make it tough to get. But then again, how exactly are they going to do that? And that was kind of one of the things I was trying to figure out in my head. Now, previously, they had announced they had shut down a vanilla server, like a private server, too much fanfare, and Blizzard had kind of promised that they were going to implement some kind of solution along those lines, so that people could kind of, I guess, go back and perhaps play certain eras of World of Warcraft. And when some of those rumors started, and, there hasn't really been any development along those lines since, but, that is, once again, that's an ongoing conversation between the developers and the players, is to get that implemented. One of the things that I had done on my character, or characters, a few of them, is I had gone back and gotten the first tier raid set from just about every expansion. I kind of made a little private best in slot list and then kind of gone back to all those first tier raids and looted up all the best stuff, so that if they ever let us go back and play those old expansions, I have a full set of gear for every era of World of Warcraft, like a full set of starter gear socked away. And then when this Warglaive thing came up, it was like, now how are they going to gate that? And I said, well, I bet you they're going to make it so that if you had the original ones, they're going to let you bring that back on your Demon Hunter, and you can have them again. So I was like, oh, well, I got to get the original ones. But of course, the drop rate is, it's RNG, and RNG can be super finicky with some people. And oddly enough, sometimes RNG is really shitty to me, but sometimes it isn't. I could tell stories both ways on that, but I think that would be an entirely different video. I know there's there's at least one person who's pissed at me still over a mount looting incident, but that's another story. But yeah, so I thought, okay, so maybe I should go back and get the Warglaives. So I started kind of going back here and there, trying to get them to drop. But the problem was, of course, it's 2 items, 1 in each hand that you have to get, and the drop rate is super low, and there's RNG. But the first week that I went in, on my Demon Hunter, I got the offhand to drop. And then the next week I went in with my Warrior too, and I got the offhand on my Warrior. I was like, oh my god, dude, it's going to happen. It's totally going to happen, man. And then I go back into the raid with my demon hunter the next week, and I loot Illidan. Lo and behold, there's a Warglaive in his in the loot table there. Like, oh my god! I was actually talking to someone from our org and Star Citizen when I did this. I was like, oh my god, it dropped! Oh my god! And it was like, no, it was another offhand, and that's why it was still on the loot table, because it wouldn't let me pick it up because I already had one. I went, oh man, it's the offhand again. Well, I'll come back next week and I'll get it for sure next week. Next week came around, never got it. Never saw it again. Never saw it. And then my warrior went back and she got the offhand again. And I just went, oh my god, I've looted 4 offhands. Can I please get 1 main hand? And then ever since then, I have never gotten any of them, right? And so now being mid-May, the clock is, time is running out. And so now I might not get this. And I was like, man, I'd really love to pull this off, but I know my luck, with things like this, I went, ah, shit, I'm probably just not going to get it. But, you gotta, I just didn't want to give up and just say, oh, well, because you don't know until you know, right? So I just said, you know what, I'm going to tough it out. If I lose, I lose, but I'm going to try. So I kept, bringing my warrior and bringing my demon hunter to this raid, and, yeah, I've heard this RP so many goddamn times now. So, here we go. Attempt number, I don't even remember. Well, let's get this done.
Boldly said, but I remain unconvinced.
The time has come. The moment is at hand.
You are not prepared. I will not be touched by such as you. Behold the flames of Azeroth. Is this it, mortals? Is this all the fury you can muster?
Their fury pales before mine. We have some unsettled business between us.
Myers, how is it even possible?
Ah, my long hunt is finally over. Today, justice will be done. It's finished. You are beaten.
You have won, Myers. But the Huntress is nothing without the hunt. You are nothing without me.
He is right. I feel nothing. I am.
Alright. So, I've looted them. Let's see what we got. Wait, is that a Warglaive? The main hand! And I'm going, but wait, no, it can't be, because I brought my offhand with me, and I mean, I didn't get the achievement. So I go, wait, no, I got the offhand, and I've got the main, so how come I didn't get the achievement? I was like, oh man, don't tell me it's bugged. And I went, oh wait, you know what? I probably have to equip it. Yes. Oh my god. This totally brings me back to like those days so long ago, watching all these people walking around with these things. and saying, "Oh man, I wish I could get loot like that. Like, I wish I had access to those items." And then here it is, got it. You know, it's one of those things that, you know, when you're doing something, when you're actually kind of doing the work and kind of getting things all sorted out, it sometimes seems like it's just totally not worth it, and then you finally get it done, and it is, and it's just awesome. And yeah. Now, of course, I still have to do the time walking event on one character on my account completed to unlock this achievement, apparently, as the rules have been explained to us. But yeah, you know, having these things, you know, it brings back memories. It brings back a certain amount of nostalgia, because all this stuff was off in, you know, off in the, you know, the mysterious distance. Like, I didn't know where you got this stuff from. I just looked at it and was like, oh my god, I wish I had that. But even if I had it, I didn't, you know. There was a lot of the kind of foundational concepts of the game that I wasn't familiar with at all, so it would have been wasted on me back then. But now this is something really cool to have, you know. Even though, you know, these things are clearly not current, it's still really cool to have them. And the transmog, might have to do some work on my Demon Hunter. Still gonna play Star Citizen, still gonna play the shit out of 3.0, but I think having a little tank in Demon Hunter when I gotta let off some steam, especially with the Warglaives, I think that'd be a pretty cool thing to have. So who knows? Maybe I'll make another video as I progress on this little personal quest. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to finish this little victory lap around Dalaran. And thanks for watching.